Alright, so this is a new digital press, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the things that you're going to need to know for this assignment as far as like printing business cards out. The first thing we have is the paper feed. It looks a little different from most. So when you open this up, it's stocked with 12 by 18 paper, heavy, 350 GSM. Okay? So if you don't see that for this assignment, let us know. There's really nothing I want you guys to dig into just yet, because this is a very beginner lesson. But you can lift the lid, identify that there's paper present, and then come see us if there is not. Alright, for this assignment you can also set the paper. So the paper is in tray 3. Okay? So what you do is you go to paper settings, you go to tray 3, and you choose recall. And then you choose 350 GSM uncoded. Then you hit 2 single tray and close. Now you can identify that it is in tray 3 by going over here and saying 12 by 18, which is 18 by 12 landscape, 257 by 300 GSM. Alright, so that's really the extent of it, other than over here is the computer that you're going to be doing the exercise on. It's admin for the password. And now I'm going to be walking you through the assignment and how to get the business cards onto this computer, okay, and then do the impositioning on the computer, and then sending it over to the press. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at the press and how to imposition business cards on the press. Okay, so we'll begin with some very, very basic pink cards, and I've made them pink because they're just easy to identify in the video, and they're very basic because I want you to do all the work on your end to make good business cards. So these are just generic cards to show you how to lay out things. Alright, so the first thing, I'll show you the 2 different ways you can lay out cards. Okay, so we can have a front and back PDF. You got to open them up. And let's close out all of these. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. So back card, set the landscape. If you right click on this, it should be 3.75 by 2.25. If that's not the case, you're going to have to redesign it. Okay, and then same with the front. So you can keep 2 separate PDFs for the front and back. Or you could do this maneuver, where if you go to pages, you got a page 1 and a page 2. And again, if you right click on this and go to document properties, it should be 3.75 by 2.25. Alright, now if you have that established, you can go on. If you don't, alright. So the next thing you have to do is everything has to be rotated, okay? Because it's on a 12 by 18 sheet of paper and it goes through the press via landscape. You can send the paper 12 inches, so that's called the short edge, through the press, but you can't send it long edge, which is the 18. It just doesn't fit. So when we develop things now, it's going to be on 12 by 18 just because it saves on paper for the impositioning. Okay? So right click on it, and we're going to now rotate the pages, and we're going to rotate them counterclockwise, 90 degrees. And you could do the little thing there. There was option. It said rotate all pages. That one. But I can't do it now because I'll rotate the other one. So both of them should look like this. So this one's kind of easy to do, and I'm going to do this one actually because it's a lot more interesting. So I'm going to rotate the counterclockwise, and then I'm going to also open up the back of the card, no, the front of the card. Zoom out, go to pages, rotate pages, counterclockwise. All right, so once you get done with that, you save them. Save, save, save. And now we can go into our impositioning software. So this is the computer out there. This is my computer in here. I'm teleported into that computer. I'm in this kind of like studio area, and that computer is out there in the lab. So Workstation Fiery is what we are using. And I'm going to be deleting any of this stuff that is going to get confusing. Okay, so let me delete that. All right, I need the front and the back dragged into this software. It's called Fiery Command Workstation. It should be already launched. If it isn't, it's the lightning bolt, and it's also located right there on the Mac. All right, so now that we have a front, we'll go to the front first and attack it. So right click on it and go to Impose. Okay, to bring the other one in, we're going to go over here and go Insert Server Job and insert the back. So that's the extra step you're going to need if you have it two separate files. So this one you click and drag over here. And then hit close. All right, they come in here via landscape. You are going to make them portrait, like that. Let me get rid of some of this propaganda here. Did it really? Oh, there we go. All right, so next we are going to start attacking this over here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Gang Up. Okay. What kind of gang up are we in? Now, a gang up is an imposition. It's a type of impositioning. We want to repeat gang up. Okay. What's our sheet size? Well, in the beginning of this video, I stated that it's 12 by 18. Yes, we do want duplex. Now notice that front's over here and back's over here. All right, to start establishing this, we're going to go to rows, and we're going to try to fit as many rows as possible, and we're going to fit as many columns as possible. You know why I'm smiling, right? Because I had you do this in InDesign by hand. Just know that this software costs a lot of money. So now you know how to do impositioning at a cheap level using InDesign and by hand. But if you had a $40,000 press with Fiery Command software, you too can do it with this software. So just be wary that I taught you that how to imposition in InDesign for a reason. All right, so now we'll start attacking this other section here, and this is where I always get myself into trouble too. So 0.125 for the gutter. Pretty sure, okay. Rotation, 180, slot rotation, no. Bleed, okay. My bleed is 0.125. Enter on the keyboard. Notice that sucked it all back in because the first one said, okay, well, we'll move your cards all 1/8 of an inch, and then the bleed brought it back. And it's supposed to do that so that the cut lines show up. So what about those cut lines? Let's go to Marks. Let's go to Define. Let's go to Print and Trim Marks. Okay. Let's hit OK. All right, so I can kind of zoom on this screen. All right, you notice that it did lay out my cut marks. It will not label them though. We have to do math now. So when you get this printed out, you will have to do all the math to cut it out. Now it's universal. If everybody follows the same suit, that means if we've developed a cut sheet by now, hopefully one of the students have developed a cut sheet which has all the measurements on it, we can use that cut sheet. But I would highly recommend you do use your own. Just think that the space between these are what? 0.125, okay? And each card is 2 inches. So you can quite literally do the math in your head when you're at the cutter and just say, what's the distance between here and here? Well, it should be a ½ inch probably. And then from there on out, it's just minus 0.25, then minus 2 inches, minus 0.25 from that, minus 2 inches, etc. and so forth. Or you can use calipers, that too. All right, so we're sort of done here. Let's zoom out. Can I get any more on there? Let's try it out. Let's go like this. Ooh, look at that. Now I've fully taken up. I got 8 rows, 3. And that's why we use 12 by 18, because it quite evenly divides with this imposition. All right, if you do change your imposition at all, you do have to realign your gutters, okay? For example, if I added one more row to this, like I just did, I then have to go Define, 0.125, and hit Apply All. If I don't do that, one of my gutters will be off. So now to save it, what you do is you hit Close. You name it something. It's going to be held. I'm going to call this Video Cards and hit Yes. Okay. So there's Video Cards. I'm going to right click on it now and go to Properties. Okay, in the previous video, I showed you that the press had 12 by 18 in it. Okay, I lifted the lid, I showed you where it's at. I showed you the screen where you can choose the paper. So in here, we're going to choose the Tray 3. Tray 3 is also called LCT, but we're going to actually use Auto Tray Select because it's the only tray in that press that has the catalog of that paper. So just by going in here and saying 18 by 12, the machine is actually smart enough to say, okay, well, no other paper is present in any of the other trays, and this tray has this paper in it, so I'm just going to print it. Okay, the rest of this is, so notice the weight carried over, everything carried over. So that's it. We can hit print. And away it goes. So now we can go out there and kind of look at it to see if it erred. All right, so as usual, I always kind of like leave one thing in there so you can fix it. So look at text up. Text the other way, okay? I know everything's backwards in this video. It's kind of cool, right? Because the video is flipped. But if you can see how the text is pointing this way, and then this side, the text is pointing that way. Okay, that's long edge or short edge. So I get the opportunity to show you how to like correct that and how to retrieve a print job. Okay, so in the printed section, I now have this. You were here. Now we have to go here. Okay. In order to correct that, we have to right click on it and go to hold. Then you can go back to this and it says spooled, and then we can go right back into it and go to impose. So you can correct impositions, work on them, and all this other stuff. And let's see, the orientation. So what we need here is the duplex feature is on, but there is no way to tell the software long edge or short edge. Okay? There's no way to do that I know of. Nope. Always look too. I don't know why I always look. Because it seems odd to me that they would not include such a trivial little thing. All right, so where do we go? Okay, well, back in Acrobat, okay, which side is right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So one of these cards has to be flipped the other way. So we'll pick on the back of the card. Hopefully you watch this whole video. Students won't. That's what's funny about students. Okay. All right, so we got this, right? So that's the back of the card, and I save that out. All right, sweet. So now let's go back to Fire Workstation. This back right here, I can also do this. Let's do that. Edit in Acrobat. That way we don't have to bring it back in. So let's right click on it, go to Acrobat. It'll bring it into Acrobat. Okay, and then we can go here, pages, and here's the back side of the card. So it automatically like compositioned them together for us. Okay, and then we can rotate pages and rotate this one clockwise. And we'll have to do that, or we could just do it 180 degrees. Yeah, let's do that. Selection only. Good. So we got that and that, okay? And then we save it. And then we go back to Fire Workstation and see what happened. Sure enough, it worked. Yay. Look at that. That looks weird. All right, so now we're going to take and print this again. Again, hopefully you watch this whole video so you don't waste paper. But I did want to show you how to go back. You know what I mean? Like, how do you go back and work on your imposition? So I'm going to name this video cards 2. Hit yes. There's video cards 2. And let's go to properties again. All this is set for us. Cool. So we can hit print. All right. And then I will go out there and see how it looks and bring it back. All right. So here's the outcome of it. Look at that. Okay. So they're backwards still, but that's because of the video. The T is up. Flip the page. The T is up. So that is how you send and flip it a different edge on this press. You don't flip it short edge or long edge on this press. You flip the file short edge and long edge on the press, or in Acrobat in this case. All right, so that concludes how to print business cards in a very large imposition on 12 by 18 paper that is 350 GSM. I hope you enjoyed.